So complementary was one of your vocab words that you had yesterday. What does complementary mean? Right, they add to equal 90. Okay, so real quick, don't write this. I just want to see if you can remember this from last year. So when we have angles like this, we've always said that this angle and this angle are the same, and this one are the same. Do you remember what the vocab word was called? Start with a V. Vertex? Close. Vertex is where the angles meet, but what type of angles are those? Vertical angles. So vertical angles are always congruent to each other. So it's the ones that are across from each other, not the ones that are next to each other, okay, when they are split like that. Okay, so on this one it says name an angle that is complementary to BOC. That means they add to equal 90. Complementary is 90. Okay, so BOC is this angle that's right here. So we're adding on to it to make 90 degrees. Well, it's not going to be this one over here because that would make it more than 90 because that one itself is 90. So if this is 90 right here and this makes a straight line, okay, going here, then that means that this is also 90. So I would be adding this one onto angle 1, COD. Okay, so angle COD, or that can be written backwards, DOC. Now, because we know vertical angles, if I'm saying this angle is complementary to that one, then that means the vertical angle to that one is also complementary to that one, okay? Because they're vertical angles, okay? So put forward, just so you have both of these in case that's not one of your options when you do the exercise, that you're going to know where that came from. So A, O, B. So either one of those answers would work. Okay, but when they do the exercise, sometimes they like to throw in a random one that's not right next to it, and you'll know why, because those are vertical angles. Okay, so remember angles, you've got to write with 3 letters, okay, especially when there's multiple angles there. Okay, has to be 3 letters. What has to be in the middle? Vertex. The vertex has to be in the middle. Okay, next question. So number 14. 12, I think. Yes, 12. This one's 14. This is saying my gas must be hungry. Getting ready to run and needs to carb load. Okay, so don't write this. This is just review from last year and also the drawing that you had, except I think I had different letters. I don't remember what the letters were, but so don't write this. If I have A, B, C, oh, didn't do that. Okay, when I'm naming angles, I can name angles as angle ABC, or I could write it backwards as angle CBA, and then I could call it angle B just by the vertex because there is only one drawing there, and then the last one was with a number, okay? But as soon as you add things onto it, the only one that I would not be able to do would be the vertex one, okay? As long as one is like right there and something else is right there. I cannot write it with the vertex, okay? Because if I said look at angle B, you're not going to know which one I'm talking about, whether it's the big one or one of the small ones, okay? So on this one, and we're just going to write it how they have their answers so we stay consistent with how the answers are going to be read, is they want us to name all the angles. We don't have to list them more than one way. We just need to list them one way to look at it, okay? So when they're listing the single angles, the ones that are by themselves, okay, the way that they list them as an answer is by the number, okay? So this is 2, 3, and 4. So we have angles 2, angles 3, and angles 4. It's not wrong to name this angle NMO and then OMP and then PMQ. They just don't do it on there. So let's do the singleton, see if there's numbers listed that way. Okay. Okay, now that's with one angle by itself. If I put two of them together, I don't call it angle 2, 3. I have to list 3 letters. Okay. So if I put two of them together, what would be one of the angles? N and P. Okay, so that's two of them. So N, M, P. What's another one? O, M, Q. Okay, so we've listed it with the single angles. We've listed it with two angles together. So the last one is what? All of them together. So N, M, okay, so that one would be worth 6 points. Okay. Again, if you go and write N, M, O, and O, M, P, it won't be wrong. It's just not how they'll have the answers written. Okay, it's proper notation if you wrote it that way. Okay, good on that. So we've listed all of the angles that are there. You don't have to list it in as many ways as possible. It's just name that angle. Okay, so moving on from that one, we have 2 left, and the last 2 are the same type. We just start with the easy one first. And this is the angle addition postulate. Is it number 1 or 10? 11. Oh, sorry, I don't. It's not 1 or 10 either. How about add them together? 1 plus 10. Okay, so this is similar to the segment addition postulate that we had the last test, other than it's an angle addition postulate. Okay, so with angle addition postulate, if you know this angle and you know this angle, how do we find the total? Add it. Okay, if we know one of them and we know the total, how do we find the other smallest? Subtract it. So just like the segment addition. So on the segment addition one, we had to like sketch it so that you know which ones switch. Okay, I think on all of these they had the sketch on the paper for you. So you just need to pay attention to which ones they're giving you. They give you these two, we're going to add them, set them equal to the total. They give you the total and one of them, then you're going to subtract them. Okay, so looking at the one that we have ABC. So ABC would be this one. So that's 47 degrees. And then the measure of angle ABD. So ABD is not the other small one. It's the big one, which is 71 degrees. And they want us to find BBC. So we're not adding them. We are what? Which is good. Okay, now I had to go and throw stupid variables in here on this next one. Okay, so keep in mind we're doing the exact same thing. Just know which ones we add, which ones we subtract. Okay, so this is the last one. So number 17. And I don't know what they put parentheses around them. I don't really. This parentheses has no significance. And this is 7x minus 4. You can't read that. Unless you want to hear. It's 254. Okay, so JHI. So JHI is this one right here. So this is 2x plus 9. And then GHI, so GHI would be this one right here, is 7x minus 4. So what do we do when we know the two small ones? Add them. Okay, so we're going to set up our equations. So 7x minus 4 plus 2x plus 9 equals the total, and they actually tell us the total, which is 68. Those are just like the segment ones that we just took a test on. Okay, so we got to solve for x. They didn't ask for x. Okay, but we got to solve for x. Okay, so 7x and 2x would be 9x. And then a negative 4 and a positive 9 would give me a positive 5. Okay, so solve for x, subtract the 5. So I'd have 9x equals 63. So x is 7. Okay, so again, they're not looking for x. They actually want to know the angle measurements. So you got to look to see which ones they're looking for. So JHI, so JHI was the first one. So if I plugged in 7 here, I go 2 times 7, which is 14. And 14 plus 9, 23. Okay, without plugging into the other equation, because they want the other equation, what could I do with the answer I just got for this one and that number? Subtract it. So that's another way, because you should get the same answer. Okay, or you can plug it in. Okay, so if I plug 7 in there, 7 times 7 would be 49. 49 minus 4 would be 45. Okay. So the two answers should add to equal 68 if you did it right. So you should have 45 and 23. So multiple ways to be checking that. Okay, we good? Okay, so those four pretty much sum up everything, maybe other than a little bit of vocab change from complementary to supplementary. Name what this angle is, it's a right angle or obtuse angle. Okay, so don't do those four on here. Make sure you cross them off. That was part of the test rate. So you checked your dates so you know like how far out. Because when you come back first, 3 days after that.
It was last weekend.
So let me look at it now.
You just have two objects and languages.
Classified as writing is a classification, yeah.